Hi guys, and as usual, welcome to another kit review. So today, obviously enough, we're looking at a kit from Italeri, 1/35 scale. It's kit number 313, and it is Italeri's Schwimmwagen. So this particular kit that I have here came out in 2005. I did pick it up secondhand. It cost me $15, which is not a bad price for this one. It did originally come out in 1977, and as far as I can tell, nothing has changed since that date, apart from the box art. The only thing that Italeri's changed is the box art. 1977, it actually came out under the old style Italeri spelling, which was Italaerei. So if you were around in the 70s like I was, you will remember those old style Italeri kits. Now in this one, you do get the Schwimmwagen, of course. You also get a Fallschirmjager soldier, a Luftwaffe Pilot, and a Luftwaffe Helferin, plus a bicycle. So you do get the three figures. Interesting combination of having a ground forces or paratrooper Luftwaffe pilot and a Luftwaffe helper with a Schwimmwagen. I would have thought this should have been a Schwimmwagen rather than a Schwimmwagen, but you know what? For $15, I don't mind. I can use these figures somewhere else or not at all. Alright, so as you can see, fairly iffy artwork. Very, very old school. Like I said, the only thing that's changed on this thing is the box art, and that looks like almost original Italeri box art. On the side, you've got usual warnings in several different languages, plus a history of the Schwimmwagen. On the other side, you've got Schwimmwagen with Rommel and a Zeltbahn tent and a radio operator, which is very similar to the Heller Schwimmwagen, which I did a review of a while back, and of course Italeri's Tiger 1. On the back, you have got your suggested colour schemes, which is all over Panzer Grey. So, interesting enough, these are the decals that you get with this. So, this is 1943, 3rd Panzer Army, and this is the 75th Army Corps in Italy, 1944. Panzer Grey. I think at this stage, especially in 1944, that more than likely would have been dark yellow rather than Panzer Grey. But it's up to you what you want to paint this one. Alright, so that's the box. Let's have a look and see what I actually got for my $15. One bag of sprues, plus the decals, and, oh yep, it's in there, assembly instructions. So, not a great deal to it. Interestingly enough, this is the bottom part of the Schwimmwagen. It is two pieces, but the top part is one. Interesting way to do it. Anyway, I'm going to open this up, and then in a second we'll have a look at the decals and the instructions. So let's have a look at the instructions. So as you can see, this is a history of the Schwimmwagen, where it was used, and technical details in 4 different languages. Overleaf, you've got your sprue layout, and then we get straight into what appears to be a very basic and easy kit to put together. So, upper hull, lower hull for the Schwimmwagen, seats going in with the handbrake, etc. Accessories going on the front like headlights, exhaust pipe on the back. This is the seat tub, spare wheel. Then you've got the wheels going on with the inner hubs. Back seat, you do get rifles and a machine gun for this one. Whether you fit them or not, that's entirely up to you. And of course you do get a clear windscreen and spade, oars, etc. for the Schwimmwagen. Over here we've got the propeller for the Schwimmwagen. So from the looks of it, you can have this going up or down depending on how you want it to be. And then you do get the choice of a folded canvas top or the full canvas top with a clear part for the rear window, which is really nice. And then basic painting and assembly for your 3 figures and the bicycle. So the bicycle will be a nice little accessory. Throw it on the back of a tank or something like this, wherever you want. I'm not sure about the figures. If these are old 1977 Italeri figures, they might be a bit average. So we'll see when we have a look at the sprues. Overleaf. So as you can tell, it does have 3 painting suggestions. All of them are in dark grey. So you've got the 75th Army Corps in Italy. You've got the 3rd Panzer Army in Russia, 1943. And you've got an unknown Luftwaffe unit also in Russia in 1943. And that's where the decals relate to. All right, so speaking of the decals, let's have a look at them. So here's the decal sheet. So you've got your Wehrmacht and your Luftwaffe unit there. Now Italeri has decided to leave out the swastikas from the middle of those symbols, but I don't think they'd be on the Schwimmwagen anyway, so that's no loss. Alright, so fairly basic. Nice that it has got divisional insignia in there and the pressures for the tyres. So that's not too bad. For a little car like this and an old kit, these are not too bad at all. Alright, so I'll give you a shot of them and then we'll have a look at the sprues. So let's have a look at the sprues, and first up we'll have a look at the clears. So these came in a separate bag. So you've got your main front windscreen. This is for the canvas top, and you do have clear parts for your headlights. Now these are not scratched. They're not too bad. They're not even really thick, and they're very clear. So I do like that. They do seem very small, but for a 35th scale, I think that's right for a Schwimmwagen. But I do like those. The fact that they're in a separate bag and they are not damaged in any way, even if this is a 2005 kit, that is really nicely done. Alright, so I'll give you a shot of the clears. So the first main sprue we'll look at is this one. So this is the lower hull of the Schwimmwagen, the wheels of course, the bicycle, the full canvas and the folded canvas, plus oars, K98s, and this is your seat tub for inside the Schwimmwagen. Alright, so let's have a closer look. Not a great deal to see on the lower hull parts. The wheels have some really nice detail, really nice bolt detail. There is a slight mold line along the middle that you will have to clean up. That of course is spare wheel, steering wheel, inside hubs. This is the seat hub. I'll turn that over. So I do like the way that it's separate. It would make it much easier to paint that. There are some push-out points inside the canvas hood, which will have to be probably dealt with, because although you won't see them, it's always a good idea to get rid of those. There's your bicycle. I do like that. That's a nice little accessory. I do like that. Very fine spokes and tires on this. MP40, of course. These are the pedals for the bicycle. K98s and an MG34 for the Schwimmwagen. Headlights, oar and tools. And that, of course, is your exhaust pipe. Alright, so that is the first sprue. And I'll give you some shots of this so you can have a really nice look. And the next sprue, and the last sprue, is this one, of course. This is your upper body, your three figures, and your seats. There is your propeller blade. A little bit of flash I can see on some parts, but not too bad. Front tow hooks, etc. for the cooler wagon. Separate arms. Separate torso for the Luftwaffe Pilot. Separate feet for the Fallschirmjager. That's an interesting thing. I wonder why they did it that way. Maybe just to fit it on the sprue. Very interesting. Alright, so let's have a closer look. So there's your upper body. Quite smooth. Not much to clean up on this one. I do like that. There's the back of the figures. So this is your Fallschirmjager, Helferin, and your Luftwaffe Pilot. There are your seats. Back seat. Tow and other accessories. There is your propeller for the Schwimmwagen. Some nice detail. I do like the hooks, they're quite fine. Lots of nice fine details on this, so that's not too bad. The hands are average hands for most figures nowadays. Actually, I shouldn't say nowadays, this is the 1977 kit. So let's have a look at the other side of the figures. So, this paratrooper, his detail is quite nicely sharp. So that will come up quite well. Very heavy set female figure, but that's nothing unusual if she's, you know, based on, I guess, average German female. I guess that's what they've decided. There is your Luftwaffe Pilot. Bit of flash around the cap will need to be cleaned up. Not quite sure about the height of the cap. It looks very peaky, but you can have a look in the close-ups and tell me if I'm right or wrong. But the detail on the figures is not too bad at all. It's quite sharp. The female figure is a little bit masculine in the face, I think, but that's nothing unusual. It seems to be one of those things that most model manufacturers have a problem with the female face. I'm not sure why. It could be just the models that they base it on. Anyway, I'll give you some close-ups of this one. And that brings us to the end of this review. So that's 2 main sprues plus the clears, plus a small decal sheet, and that is Italeri's Schwimmwagen, kit number 313. This one, like I said, came from 2005. Almost completely unchanged since the original issue in 1977. I should mention that this has also been brought out in cooperation between Testors and Italeri, and also Revell and Italeri. Both Testors and Revell have brought this particular kit out under their own brands, but it is exactly the same kit. Anyway, like I said, that brings us to the end of this review. Hope you got something from it. As usual, guys, thank you for your likes, your comments, and your subscriptions. They are always appreciated. And also, as usual, because it is the end of the review, until next time, take it easy, stay safe, and I will see you later.